Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. So, welcome to What Buddha Dhamma. I see a few new faces, but mostly the regulars. It goes to every single retreat, which is it's a good sign, I guess. And this retreat tonight is this weekend because it's the Vesak weekend, which is for your traditional Buddhists, is the celebration of the birth, the enlightenment, and the passing away, the death of the Buddha, this coming weekend. And that would be Sunday night, and we'll celebrate that. But so this weekend leading up, I thought a good theme would be spiritual indulgence, because we live in a world sometimes that emphasize on the sensual indulgence of having more things. And sometimes, people think, well, sensual indulgence is like, well, you have to go to the pub every day and get blind drunk, or you get your ecstasies and parties all the time. And it's not necessary. I mean, those are different levels. And certainly getting blind drunk or going to a casino every night is probably more the extreme version of the sensual indulgence. But for most people, it's just staying in our comfort zone, your bed, your own bed, your own little coffee mugs, your own pillow. Some people travel with their pillows even. So things that we like, we don't want to get out of that. So hopefully when we're indulging on the spiritual side, we're focusing on the other aspect, the non-physical aspect of ourselves, focusing on a bit of letting go, focusing on pushing some of those boundaries that we set up for ourselves to see whether we can live without our favorite pillow, our favorite coffee cup or something. And but this weekend above all is just a chance to slow down, to be quiet, to not have to do the normal thing that you do when you're at home. Just try something else. And really just enjoy the simplicity of life. Just enjoy the forest, to be present, really. And we've taken care of the accommodation, the food. It's taken care of by, a great team of volunteers. And the daily schedule is set out. So there's not a whole lot you have to do the next few days. It's an opportunity just to step back, to relax, and to be present, and see what arises. Because sometimes we live in a world that's very busy, doesn't allow us to slow down, doesn't allow the thinking mind to rest a little bit in not thinking and not doing, not judging, comparing, planning, but just to be with the body, be with the forest, be with the frogs as it croaks. What does that feel like? So, as most of you know, been to the retreats, it's on the 8 precepts. And everybody will be familiar with that. The main thing of your meal is not eating, quote unquote, in the evening. But there are allowables that you can have to ease the hunger, if that's the case. And also there's, encourage people to exercise restraint, put your phones away, entertainment. mostly noble silence. And I emphasize this over and over again. It's a gift of silence we can offer to each other. Because a lot of the accommodations share, any verbal communications just affect people around you. So try to come in and leave your accommodation as quiet as you can. And it's a great practice, especially on, contrasting the spiritual with the physical, the sensual, the worldly way. In the world, you're told to, have views and opinions, make the difference, stand out, be counted, be noticed, be somebody. And what it does is create a lot of tension, a lot of comparing, a lot of anxiety and alienation, actually. It is in the silence, it is in the shaving away, the disappearance of a self, that we actually feel connected to others. It is this sense of, illusory sense of self that we have that blocks us really from communicating, blocks us from connecting the people around us and the things around us. So much of the spiritual practice is to shave away that. One of the ways to do that is to be in peace and harmony with your surroundings. When it's time to work, you blend in, you work. When it's time to sit quietly and watch your breath, you sit quietly and watch your breath. Some people do the opposite. When it's time to work, no, I'm watching my breath, Ajahn. Can I not do this? And they want to sit there, don't want to do that. They go and they do sweeping or something. So peace and harmony, time and place, it's really important in the practice. Because to do that, you have to be present. Not from ideals of where you should be or how things should be, but where are things now and how can I fit in? So it's a great tool, a day-to-day practice, something practical that we can do from the minute we wake up to the moment we lie down. What is the situation? How I better fit into it? How can I help out in a way that's non-obstructive, non-obtrusive? How can I add to the sense of peace and harmony, the people and the situation around me? So I know it's a quite short time that we have, just one night, and then tomorrow the whole day, and then Sunday's here. But it's still, the regulars come, but it's the people who are new, and even the regulars, it's great just to have a quiet weekend. We're just in the forest, doing some meditating, doing some work, and living peace and harmony. Leaving the phones alone, not entertaining yourself with stuff. Just to get back to the basics. Just allow the mind a bit of rest. Just rebuild the energy, to re-energize, to process sometimes the complicated life that we lead, the complications that our mind makes. So it's a weekend of really rest and relaxation, true rest. Rest in the present moment. Rest in the non-doing, the non-thinking, the non-judging. Resting, shaving away the me, the need to stand out, the need to make a mark, make a statement. To be one who just comes and goes, does what he or she's supposed to, and no one been noticed. Be the invisible one. Just flow through in the monastery, doing what's needed, not hiding out in your kuti, doing what's needed, helping out where it's needed. And that takes clarity, it takes awareness. It takes putting our thinking mind away for long enough to figure out what's happening in the real world, in the world where we connect with each other, in the real time and place, in the here and now. That's what the practice is about. That's what the forest tradition is about. It's not a technique. It's not whether we do vipassana, what's the other one, or samatha. It's not whether we do the body sweeping, or we do the mindfulness of the breath, and where we do watch the breath. Is it in the nose, is it the abdomen? Do we note or not note? No, it's a whole way of life, inclining towards peace and harmony, inclining with clarity and wisdom. The ability to be present, the ability to connect and help out when it's needed, but to disengage when it's time to meditate. And that's the skill, whether we're sitting with our eyes closed, to let go, to focus, or whether we have a full-on job with families and responsibilities. Time and place, peace and harmony, not to be underestimated. And that's the way of the enlightened one. Remember, this is the Vesak weekend, so it's good to reflect on, to bring to mind, what does that mean to be enlightened? We have all ideas, but how can we move towards that? We can bring to inspiration the life of the Buddha, the life of the enlightened ones, the Arahant, monks and nuns that we read about. Be inspired that we're all walking in their path, each in different ways. So it's time just reflect on that, to allow the happiness, inspiration, the energy to arise, knowing that we're all part of that beautiful, wholesome process towards nibbana, towards stillness, towards emptiness, towards disappearance. Yes, some of you might see I work really hard to establish all sorts of things and places all over New South Wales or whatever. And you might think, oh, Ajahn putting a lot of stamp everywhere, sense of self there, isn't it? Not really. No, it's time to go. I'm happy. Fade away. Other people can look after it. As long as places that allow people to come and practice the Buddha's teaching, as long as it's a place to allow people some seclusion, and that's a wonderful addition we can add to the world. But it's about fading away, or shaving away the sense of self. We can only do that if we are present. We see where attachments are, and we let that go. And we have to understand, to do that we have to understand our strengths and weaknesses. Where are we attaching? Where are we making suffering for ourselves and others? And how can we let that go? A lot of times it's just through generosity, helping out, looking around. How can I make this place a more harmonious place? How can I do the things that look after the monastery in a way that allow other people to also come and enjoy and use it for the future generation? Knowing that every single nail, every single plank, piece of wood you see in this was bought, built, and maintained the last 40 years by generations and generations of Dhamma practitioners. Understanding that, remembering that, we continue, hopefully, to maintain the place as a place of practice for future generation. Pass that on, beautiful peace and harmony, the happiness of a still mind, the happiness of a bright mind, the happiness of a mind that intends towards letting go and emptiness. So in terms of, but first and foremost, and the final words, I always remind people to really enjoy yourself this next couple of days. Find ways, whether it's just sitting quietly, having a cup of tea, or just sit in the forest and listen to the birds and the frogs croak. Simple, quiet pleasures. And yes, there's some meditation happening, but just be careful of not trying to log in too many hours. On weekend, I'm going to log in my 8 or 12 hours of meditation, otherwise it's a waste of time. Meditate, but meditate with the mind of letting go. Meditate without any agendas or wanting. Meditate from gratitude to the Buddha, to the Dhamma and the Sangha, to all your teachers who've taught you along the way. Meditate out of that energy. In terms of the more mundane housekeeping things, I think Mari went through most of that. Anything else in terms of any questions or comments? Yes?
Interviews?
Oh, yes, right. Okay, yeah, we do yes, we're doing the numbering. Okay, so I encourage people to have group interviews. And we also learn a lot from each other with our questions, like the usual stuff. You might think you're the only one with the crazy mind. You'll find out. The other crazies in the room with you. And you feel, well, not so bad. So that's part of the reason for the group interview. So what I'm going to do is number. Hopefully I do better this time. I can count properly. Number 1 to 4. Yeah. And then each is a half an hour session, and you have to remember your number, and you show up, okay? The 3 to 3:30 is number 1, 3:30 to 4 is number 2, 4 to 4:30 is number 3, and 4:30 to 5 is number 4. Okay, so here we go. Josh is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, you're 2, 3, 4. 1, you're the lady, I don't know, 2, yeah. 3, and then Tom is 4, right, 1, 2, 3, no, yeah, 3, and then 4 in the back, Colin. Everybody's got a number? More or less? Okay, so that is the interview for tomorrow, 3 to 5. Otherwise, outside of that time, continue sitting and walking meditation. Also tomorrow between 2 and 2:40, there is a guided meditation and also an introduction to meditation as well. And given the fact that it's only one session that we have, I'm just going to give you a smorgasbord of meditation techniques that you can try out this weekend. What else is there? I think that's pretty much it.
Just the Q&A, there's also the box at the back. If people have questions, we'll check tomorrow night before this.
That's right. So if you have any questions that you don't want to, you want to bring up, then you can write it down, or you can also ask in person tomorrow night. There is the Dhamma talk between 8 and 8:30, and after that there's Q&A from 8:30 onwards. Other than that, we for the regulars, well, I shouldn't say this in camera anyway. For the regulars, there's a new toilet that is waterless, so you can use that instead and save water. It's right next to the kitchen. Okay, so that is an introduction talk for tonight. Many of you had jobs and had a long day, so you can have an early rest. Otherwise, you can continue sitting, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning I think wake up is encouraged at 4, 4:30 to 5 is walking meditation. Then 5 o'clock here, we do the morning chanting and continue sitting till about 6 o'clock. Okay, we'll pay respects to the Drupajam together and then we'll call it a night. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami. Supatipanno Bhagavato Vasavaka Sangho Sanghang Namami.